Hello YouTube, back with the next Battlebots toy review, and today I have the Battlebots Grapplers FrenZy. As you may notice, mine's in probably, I'd probably need a new one at some point, because the one of the panels does not stay on anymore, let's be honest. I don't think they ever stayed on in the first place, at least my version didn't. It came off, I think, rather easily. But FrenZy, of course, proving to be at least a somewhat effective robot, taking down even a former champion, Panic Attack, in Battlebots, in fact. It did relatively well, reaching the Season 2.0 semifinals, I believe, losing out to Biohazard. But then again, a lot of bots lose to Biohazard, so that's not really... There's no shame in losing to that. The toy is very well replicated here. I mean, of course, since it's unlike the Spin Bot or the Mini Bot, it actually has a lot more details you can add to it. The axe is a fully functional weapon here, although the Spin Bot did too. And the idea is, I think what ends up happening is the axe would swing forward because it's using the mechanism, which is not present in here. Actually, it would fit here. Maybe you'll see it behind the tape here. See, yeah, you can see there's a little hole in there. There's a little bit of yellow in there. It's because of the. That'll give you a better idea. That is where the handle would have gone. Cause I took it off to kind of fight with them as they are. And this is where the areas where the bot would actually, spring apart. You actually have a pin. I can actually show it here. It could just go pretty much like that, except it would actually come off more readily. Mine, of course, as you probably saw, doesn't have all the, there are no springs powered in this anymore. Yeah, it pops right off like that. There were two of them, although mine, I think, did it almost regardless. I'm kind of holding it together with tape here just to kind of keep it together here just long enough for this review. But, I mean, this is very accurate to FrenZy. I mean, you can tell it's FrenZy on a long list, of course. Obviously, they did their best to actually have the trigger points match, but I think in some sense they probably should have done it where these parts are black so that it blended in a little bit better. But maybe that may have been just making it easier for the opponent to see where they are. But, I mean, this is a great representation of FrenZy. I mean, you can see all the details on it, so get the axe out of the way. All the sponsorships at the time, including Surf Cam on, let's see, over here. Yeah, Surf Cam and their sponsorship for their speed controller, Victor 883, which is a lot of people. I think I know a lot of builders used that at the time. Pace, which is I think where builder Patrick Campbell was working at the time. I think he actually had a slam cam. I think it was mounted like here or something. It was right around. It was on one of the sides, and you can see it get dislodged in his match with Biohazard and gets flipped. Yeah, so unfortunately the axe didn't work at the end of the fight. Toward the end of the fight with Biohazard, but there's kind of only clues as to what happened. Given that, I mean, it just kind of was flailing, it was going back and forth, and then all of a sudden just stopped working completely. I figured it must have been whatever powers it, like the relays or the solenoids, whatever little something powers it, or even the motors. I think, yeah, I've kind of looked into how FrenZy's weapon works. It was kind of complicated to start with. Two motors, two relays, kind of get it going back and forth. It would help, each would swing, get the mechanism swinging halfway. So when the two of them were used together, they would go the full distance. I figured one of them must have failed somewhere. And of course, a bot like FrenZy, it's doing something over and over again, as we all know. Something like metal fatigue, it'll actually cause it to fail. So I think that's where the failure came in from that. The toy, even if, I don't know if you noticed, all these little bolts here on the side, they went through all the extra details, and those are not just like painted on there. You can actually feel those on the toy itself. I mean, even the little panels here, little black panels here, those are raised enough that you can actually feel just a little bit. I mean, they made it almost feel like the real thing, which is pretty awesome. How they, how they actually all got this to work. As you can see, the mechanism that makes this work is there's a gear inside here. So I don't know if we can see it all that well. Yeah. If you look carefully, when the axe is pulled back, you can see there's a little mechanism inside that, a little extra gear that this connects to, and this is what helps it to swing. The axe does come off. I can pull it off. There you go. I don't know if I've had it happen too often, maybe once or twice, but I mean, it's right back in relatively easily. It's very snug, so it won't come off again probably for a while. So yeah, given that FrenZy has been in pretty much most of the merchandise released, it was not an RC yet. It was not a Metal Mechanics kit. Probably could have been. Probably would have been a lot of fun to put together, though. I mean, it's great. I mean, this toy is very well represented. Mine, I probably won't fault them too much, because I mean, it's probably only off a little bit. I think what ended up happening was that may have been contributing to why the panels on mine came off. My Ziggo one has the same issue, oddly enough. May have been just the either the spring was too narrow for the pegs that they're supposed to slide into. You notice those little white pegs that were inside, they fit together. There's a third peg in the middle. That's where the spring actually fits into. I think that may have been part of why this one wasn't working too well. I won't fault them for that. I won't give it like a lower rating or whatever. I won't just say, oh, this sucks, because they have a little defect that was probably not present in all the toys. Maybe just mine. It's possible it was in all of them, but I don't think it was. So I gotta give them the benefit of the doubt here. But I mean, you can see here, a lot of details went into this. Even this little, despite the fact that they even blended in the most part, the areas where the bot gets hit, and then that caused it to. I've obviously taken those out myself, but I mean, I had to make a little bit of changes here. I don't know if you can see it. See, is this thing? Yep. Look carefully. The tape, yeah. See if I can show it. The base actually moves just a little bit. This is, I think, due to when the handle was attached, you can actually rotate FrenZy a little bit to kind of help it get a better view. That's pretty cool. Most of the toys didn't even have that feature. I mean, some did. I think Tazbot? Was it Tazbot that had the ability to do that? Some did it. Some did. I don't think it mattered all that much, considering what their overall design was. But yeah, this is awesome. I mean, FrenZy was a pretty decent robot as a whole. Even appeared on Robot Wars in the Series 4 War of Independence, and I think reaching the finals before it actually lost. So, I mean, if it could beat Panic Attack, a former champion, can't be all that bad. I mean, it pounded Panic Attack so hard that the speed controller on Panic Attack came loose. I believe that's what happened. It came loose, shorted out all the electronics, and that's why Panic Attack is kind of meandering around the arena during this fight. And still, it got heavily damaged in that fight, so it's obvious that FrenZy was a pretty decent robot. I mean, yeah, it's not the greatest robot. You know, just given the fact that it, the weapon kind of has a long range, doesn't really hit a lot, and often sometimes it's a little too powerful. Even during its bout with Gold Digger, you can see it's kind of wobbling back and forth when it was trying to hit. It's kind of lost balance. It's kind of, it was pretty decent. It was better than where it was. I mean, when it first started out, it was a pretty primitive robot. It had these two giant tires in the middle, two caster wheels. That's why, if you notice, when FrenZy's flipped over and against Biohazard, I think they're still using the old plate from back in the day, from back in its early days, where the two wheels, you can see the two holes. That's what that was for. There were two big wheels on this side and two small caster wheels on the ends here. And you can see I got tape here to kind of help it slide around the arena, kind of give it that feel. And yes, if you have any doubt that this is FrenZy, there you go. And yes, that's exactly how it was written, including with the Z capitalized here. I don't know if you can see it that well. The reflective light, yeah, that'll give you a pretty good idea. So yeah, props to Road Champs for making this as accurate as possible. So that's my review on the FrenZy Grip and Grappler toy. Thanks.